The Super Bowl frenzy may just be wrapping up, but there's always time for more football. ReachTV scoring a touchdown of a deal with the NFL today, the travel streaming network to broadcast the NFL's full suite of games, including the playoffs and the Super Bowl. Let's bring in Fast Money friend Linwood Bibbins. He's the CEO of ReachTV. Linwood, welcome back. Congratulations on this deal.
Thank you.
What was involved in the deal in terms? I mean, this is an extension of a deal already. So what was new here?
We had a multi-year deal already. This extended out for many years. The key to this deal was to add the local games. So when you're in Philly, you see Philly. Well, maybe not right now, but and being able to localize the games in there, that was one big thing. The second thing was we talked to travelers and asked them what else do they want to see during an NFL game. And the number one thing was pregame shows.
Oh.
So this was the other thing that was included in this is the pregame show. So that really engages people before they get on a flight and before they see the games. Right. They're able to get the pregame show.
Linwood, congrats. And I would think in the local markets, having the local teams, wherever you sit, half the people there are there for that game. Can you give us some insight into, we know what the Super Bowl ad activity and the market is around that, but what are you seeing from the front lines right now? Because again, you have a very unique property, out of home, in airports, you've got a captive audience, and it's a little different than the other ad trade. All we do is talk about the media companies and what they're seeing.
I think we have a unique audience. The traveler is so resilient right now, and it's one of the markets where it's, you hear so much gloom and doom. Travel, you hear the exact opposite. You have Delta reporting record earnings. You have United record bookings, and we're seeing that every day. So the advertising community is really embracing our network. One, because we have the live sports. Two, because NFL is the NFL, and it will drag people to come into the airport longer, earlier, and
absolutely
engaged. So we are focused on bringing more engaging content, more engaging things, and from an advertising and agency perspective, they're leaning forward.
I never thought about the aspect of customizing what you see on the screens in an airport. To what degree can you customize? Can you customize even down to this TV is in an international terminal, and we're going to change the content versus domestic flight?
100%. Okay. We can go from my phone right now. I can program down to the screen. I can do it nationally, by DMA, by airport, by terminal, by gate, by screen.
Mm-hmm. And so does that make your advertising even more attractive? I mean, that seems like you're really tapping into the exact customer who you want to reach.
Yeah. Correct. And it makes us a great partner to our airports, to our concessions, to agencies, to everybody in the entire journey, because if you're a traveler, you want to see something relevant to you, and that allows us to do that.
Linwood, are there other sports that look really attractive to you? Obviously, soccer is growing pretty dramatically, and I'm sure geographically, as you kind of expand, that is going to be interesting to you. And there's other sports that are not just on Sundays, too. So talk to us a little bit about your aspirations in other sports.
Of course, a lot of sports are calling us now. A lot of leagues are calling us. I think there's also a part of telling the story of the players. So we are really working on partnerships that allow us to tell those stories and get to know the players, even NFL players. There's their helmets on. Mm-hmm. We get to get stories and tell when their helmet's off. So we're working with multiple leagues. We're working with multiple players associations to bring the players on as well and really get to know them.
Linwood, somebody just said to me, my helmet's on way too tight, which is probably true, and congratulations. But let me ask you this, because this is a question that I get asked, because obviously Tim and I have a pretty strong relationship. In the airports, there are all these screens, but people are watching typically with no sound on. How do you combat that?
Well, we have three different ways. Number one, all the gate screens have directional sound that actually points directly to you so you can hear it. Number two, our tech allows you to scan the screen and listen on your own personal device. And number three, we're doing a partnership, which is, you kind of see it already, with Tunity, where you're allowed to, log into your Tunity and listen into our screen.
Linwood, thanks so much for being with us. And it sounds like a pretty awesome offering. Yes. If you haven't used it, I would suggest that you do. But can you speak a little bit more in terms of like the ad direction and where streaming providers or content providers, what is unique about your offering where they're able to, you mentioned the customization of some of the features, where they're actually able to target a demographic in a way that is not available on other platforms?
Well, I think one of the things is we have a lot of our own first-party data. So we have over 300 million devices. We work closely with airlines with first-party data. So we're able to look at people on the entire journey. So not just when you book, through that entire journey. So when we have a partner, we can talk about somebody like let's say a GM, right? We know that people, half of the revenue inside of an airport is parking. That means people are driving there. So when you look at that, you want to watch them on their entire journey and be able to give them the right message at the right time.
Wow.
So we're able to do that.